Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You've reached the Boho Info Show. Welcome aboard. Glad to see you're here. It is a bright, Monday morning? Well, for some people, maybe Monday evening for other people, but we're all here, right? Well, we're going to get into a big program, kind of like an emergency message for those out there to prepare. There's other information, vital information coming down. We're going to expose and talk about all that. But before we do, make sure you get a piece of paper, a pen, something to drink, and jot down your notes as we go through the show. If you miss any part of the show or you're lagging, just reload the show and it will come back up. And especially if you miss any parts of it. Also, too, if like we say, we always give our comments and our opinions throughout our show, so be prepared for any of that. You may agree to disagree kind of thing. Also, we make no claims or on anything medically or otherwise. Take everything that we say with a grain of salt, throw over your shoulder for good luck, but do your own research. And we're going to go into it, I think, here as we're having situations happen around us right now. There has been testing. I'm going to get into a little bit of the show here. There's been testing with all kinds of hacking going on. Many people know what's going on out there. Some do, some don't. With everything, power grids, water, utilities, your goods that you buy at the store, supply and demand situations, etc., and so on. Here's a scenario that's starting to form, and it's getting towards the end of the deep state playing their last cards. So this is like the football game where they're, ready to make their last strive to make down the touchdown so that they can win the game. This is exactly the same scenario that's going to be happening here with what we're going to be talking about, and things are booting up and heating up here in July and August. Okay. So we need to talk about some different topics, and the first one that we're going to talk about here is the internet kill switch. Many of you guys may or may not know that such a thing even exists, okay? But back in the Mr. O time, when he served in our big POTUS situation, okay, that he signed an executive order to do a kill switch on the internet. This goes for everything. This goes for email, messaging systems, any social media of any form, video calling, doing any kind of trades, virtual reality stuff, you name it, it covers it all, okay? Anything you can think of that you have to use the internet for, this is what it's under, okay? Now, you guys can look it up, and I will, through my program, post different links on things, but this one came from Wikipedia, and throughout the show, I will drop links throughout the show on it, okay? But this one came from Wikipedia, just so you guys understand what it is. An internet kill switch is a countermeasure concept activated to a single shut off of mechanical for all internet traffic. So I want you to understand the severity of this, okay? Because this may be their last card that they're going to play amongst the other rest of the cards that are in the deck. And who you're talking about is the cabal, the deep state, the left, etc. Okay. It's their last desperate moves. Okay. When they do this and kill all internet traffic, you got to understand something. People, and here is where they did not organize this enough, okay? Where they didn't realize that if they kill off the little people on the internet switch, meaning you and me, okay, that they're also going to kill off their own backyard. Why? Because the elite also do communications. They do trade deals with the stock market. They do business deals through the internet, etc. So it's going to hurt their back pocket just as much as our back pocket, if not worse on their end, because they're going to have a greater loss than what we're going to have financially. They're going to have. Okay. So, that's one thing I wanted to get out because they didn't plan enough on this one. Okay, because it's going to affect them all, and it makes no difference how many millions of dollars. If the dollars are and the millions of dollars are sitting in their bank, and they can't electronically transfer it, guess what? Their money don't mean shit. This goes all the way up to the Bilderberg group. This goes all the way up to the highest groups up out there right now with the most money in the world. Okay, if they're going to be sitting ducks, their money is going to mean nothing. It's going to mean shit. Okay, so and they didn't plan out for this one if they do try to do it. Anyway, here's the thing. So the concept behind Kill Switch is based on creating a single point of control, of single authority and control to shut down internet in order to protect its users, such as U.S. American Civil Liberties Union and NoNet. Trusted had criticized proposals implemented for the far people. Now, you've heard of already right now in other parts of the world, like Egypt or whoever, these countries that you're seeing in front of you, the country that starts with a C, and the one right now that's dealing with the CV in India, and the Middle Eastern groups that they're bringing our troops back from, and etc. Even right now, what are they trying to do in the UK? They're trying to shut it down. Okay, these are all different types of things that they're getting geared up for this possibility to happen. They're the ones, if you start seeing the kill switch in all these different other countries, it's probably going to come back over here to the States. Okay. And it goes under what they call the Communications Act. Okay. So any form of communications, can you imagine that? So people are asking me, okay, in emergency, what do you use? Landline. Because there's not going to be any form of any kind of communication at any level, no matter to the highest security to the lowest, okay, on the internet. All right. Yeah, it's getting interesting, isn't it? Anyway, it says right here in the past history, this is all under Wikipedia, during the 2000s, they drafted legislation worldwide to do what they call the killing of the internet during the Arab Spring and all these other different countries for internet that was denied and stuff. So it's Middle Eastern countries I can't really talk about. Also, the effect was to shut off information and the access of controversial topics and so on and so forth. So right now, what happened on their first phase was what? The censorship. The second wave was actually taking down people's website. The third wave will probably be the kill switch on everyone. Makes no difference who you are. Now, I know for a fact, and you're going to hear this for the first time on any program out there, I've already caught them in the middle of a kill switch scenario where they can actually go into someone's computer and shut it down. I have 2 rock hard evidences of them trying to do it with 2 of my computers. And I have both the computers. I have taken it to the highest tech there is, and it was an external shutoff, which means meaning our government, has the ability to do even mobilization kill switches through social media programs, okay, that are out there. And what I mean is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anything that is also even connected to AI, okay? So it is highly possible. They can even kill your phone, your cell phone, while you're in the midst of actually making a call. Okay? That's your cell phone. They can do the same thing to any tablet, computer system out there, or any smart devices. Okay? This kill switch is for anything that deals with Wi-Fi, deals with the internet. Okay? So it is real. What I'm telling you, it is real. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, you catch them, but we have no law in the land that is willing to grab these people and charge them as, um, you know, people, terrorist people, which is what they are, inside and infiltrated our government, including the politicians on the left. Okay, and even our legal system. Now, I know it's a sensitive topic, but we got to talk about this because why? How is society going to go forward? We've got to think through, we've got to talk out all these problems, right? So, and everybody's like, well, how does it affect me? Well, think about it. How many of you guys out there carry a cell phone? How many guys have a computer or a tablet? Or some other device that has what they call smart technology on it, okay? This is all together. It's all interwoven together. I mean, here's the thing. Some of the really richest people out there have the refrigerators, right? Where you talk to them and say, hey, give me my shopping list so I know what I got to go buy at the grocery store. Okay, that's for the rich elite people, right? So does that mean, does it kill switch them? Yeah. Why? Because of the Wi-Fi. Why? Because of the 5G, the 4G connected to the internet, right? Well, they also have kill switches in there because of maybe also as a safety protocol because of AI. Now, here's the thing. They can sit here and push a button and kill that AI technology, but it's not really going to kill it. You know why? Because it's self-thinking, it's self-learning. Okay, they think that they can unplug the internet that way. It can't happen that way. They actually have to physically unplug the electrical power or the power to the actual AI in order for it not to work. And on top of it, they've got to scramble the circuits, which means an EMP. Right? Do they ever think these things out? No. Why? Because they're so hung up on winning their initiative forward when they don't even realize that they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Even it's going to happen to them. It makes no difference if you've got an Apple phone or a computer to a regular Windows program or an Android phone or computer. It's going to hit it all. There's no security. Okay? Anyway, back to the Communications Act 1934 and Telecommunications Act in 96. And then here recently, the proposed Protecting Cyberspace as a National Asset Act in 2010. Okay? So here, Joel Lieberman, some of you guys know who he is, Protecting Cyberspace as a National Asset Act. Okay? And then Susan Collins and Thomas. These are all Democrats, people. There's one Republican, but you know what we think about that. Okay. Anyway, and then on top of it, we got the ACLU, right? And then we have what they call the First Amendment scrutiny tests, which are the what do you call it? Censorship stuff, right? And all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was effective, right? But anyway, yes, I will. I don't know. Did I put that? I don't know if I put that link in there, but I will release some links here in a little bit. But anyway, it goes into telling about their policies, computing, meditating, communications, etc., and so forth. All the different countries. They have what they call internet monitoring groups, like in Zimbabwe or whatever, called NetBlocks. Blocking over a dozen social media platforms. Now, there was talks that Mr. O back in 2010, I think it was, that signed the executive order, which he did back then, thinking that the kill switch was for their initiative forward, to push their initiative forward on the Democratic side, right? That was the motive, okay? Not so much for the surface stuff that everybody else is reading, that it was for cybersecurity. That's where they where he did the snow job on all you politicians, okay? But anyway, getting to the other part of it, the 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 kill switch part of it. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes when they push bad legislation through, there is a deep state agenda to it, and this is proof of one of them. Okay, and then at the same time, you have these surface politicians that does not do any kind of research or background on the legislation, and they'll vote it in thinking, oh yeah, it's a good thing because it's gonna, help protect our cyberspace and our internet and our infrastructure of it and all that stuff. And that's all they see. They don't see the deeper meaning of it. The actual. Remember, I told you, our government, our monetary system in the states has a dual system. Well, so does legislation. Okay, this is also another wake up call on those people who follow a lot of the legislation out there, on all the new laws being passed or the legislation stuff that they talk about, that's also a dual system, and this is proof of it right here. They have the surface part, which is all the politicians and the public sees, but they don't take the responsibility to do the research and background into it deeper. But when those that are doing that, they are doing that research deeper, and they're finding out the evil motive of pushing the left Democratic side agenda forward that is going to harm society. Okay. So, yeah. But I also want to get to that. Let's see what else. So, that is yeah. So basically what it is just cutting off internet traffic, period. Everything. It's like turning on and off your power switch on the wall to turn your lights on and turn your lights off. So the next time you turn your lights on in a room, think about, okay, the internet's on. But the next time you shut off the lights in that room and you're in darkness, that's exactly the same way it will happen on the internet. No one will see anything. Okay, that's their kill switch. Now, there is alternative, what do you call it? I want to say deep web connections that might be possible after an internet switch goes through, that you might be able to, but you've got to really, really know how to have safety protocols, VPNs, what do you call it? Basket weave security measures in place. I'll put it that way in layman's terms, to weave through the internet after a kill switch has happened, if there is any kind of deep web still active at that time. So, yeah. Not good, guys. Not good. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, and then you'll hear them say, oh, yeah, well, we're doing it because you're updating security, right, in your phone, or we're updating security in your computer, or we're doing security switches. You'll hear this, right? So asking me, well, what is it, right? Security switch is a hardware device designed to protect computers, laptops, and smartphones. A similar device from an unauthorized, I'm going to say that again, unauthorized access or operation. Okay, so that is, the security switch is connected to the internet kill switch, because you as a citizen didn't authorize the kill switch. You follow me? So this would be a unauthorized access. that the government is overriding on your smart devices. Okay. Now, distinct from the virtual security switch, it offers software protection, but security switches should be operated by authorization only. For this reason, it's isolated from other devices in order to prevent unauthorized access and should not be possible to bypass it in order to prevent molecular manipulation. So that'd be like what, hacking or whatever, right? But it says the primary purpose of a security switch is to provide protection against surveillance, eavesdropping, malware, and spyware, and theft of digital devices. Now, I can tell you, and I can eyewitness this. I mean, I have to call him on a carpet, but my husband and his family are all part of this eavesdropping on everybody. Here's a thing that um, many of you don't realize. When you're talking on a messaging system, and I'm going to go into my little device here, but when you are looking into talking to someone on, let's say, WhatsApp app, okay, or your regular phone, and it has a area where you can message besides verbally talk, or they have an area where you can do video conferencing, talk, and messaging. Okay, but I'm going to take some examples like Snapchat, WhatsApp. Um, oh gosh, how many of them out there? There's so many of them out there. But here's what happens once you get one person, and your phone number is on the list. Okay, and whether you made a connection to that person or not, they can look into all of your stuff as well as you looking into their stuff. Okay, there's ways to do that. This is where the loopholes of the software programs are having a problem where it's easily to be hacked. Okay. At the same time, though, this is also giving it holes where Big Brother and other people can look into your stuff, okay? Listen in on your phone calls or your messaging. Now, um, you can sit here and update your stuff. Every time you update their stuff, your security or anything in your Windows program or your Apple programs or whatever type of search engine you may have out there, every time you update, it also updates our government on what kind of stuff that you have in their system so they can still continue to listen in. Okay? How they do it is surveillance. Cameras on your phone, cameras on your computer, etc. Now, here's the thing. How many of you guys out there do selfies? Right? Guess what? Government sees all that. Right? If you don't care, that's on you. But guess what? They put all that stuff in huge data banks and they store it for later to use on you against you. Okay? The other thing is that they also use surveillance cameras in smart devices. Okay? A lot of people don't realize that some of the newer refrigerators and washers and dryers sometimes have cameras in them, especially the what do you call it, refrigerators. But all your other stuff like your cell phones, your laptops, your computers, makes no difference what the make of it is. It has it in there. Okay. Same thing with your eavesdropping. People saying, well, how they eavesdrop? They eavesdrop by microphones on your computer or your cell phone or your tablet. You got a microphone in there, they can hear you. If you're buying one of these Alexas, oh boy, are they ever listening to you and under surveillance at the same time? All these Alexa devices and things. So all you stupid people, rich people that don't have nothing better to do with your money, or you're just plain stupid and buying a device like that, yeah, they record everything you're doing 24 hours a day. Did you know that? No, you probably didn't. But guess what? They did. And guess what? It's all being stored in a huge data bank. Yeah, they can use that against you. Then malware. What is malware? Malware is kind of like a safe way to say, okay, I'm kind of hacking your computer without you knowing it by putting a code in your computer, and we're what do you call it? We're kind of recording, but we're following you wherever you go on the internet. That's kind of like a malware. Spyware now is where, okay, we're intentionally wanting to spy on you. Right? So right here's the difference. Malware, software intentionally designed to cause damage to a computer, server, client, computer network. By contrast, a software causing unintentional harm due to some deficiency is typically described as a software bug. So why do you see these updates? Because there's probably malware in there. And a wide variety of malware types includes all kinds of different existences. Now, spyware is a miraculous behavior that aims to gather information. So you remember how you heard about, like on Facebook and social media platforms, using algorithms and AI technology to record all your information and all the advertisement and the websites that you go to, advertisement stuff, and it records it that way. Yeah, it's the same thing with spyware. Spyware does the same thing. It grabs and gathers all that information about the person on that particular device or organization that they might be belonging to, and then it sends it to another entity in a way that harms the user, and it violates their privacy and endangers their device and security, and behavior may be present in malware as well. Right? So there you go. So now think about that with the government doing all this stuff to you guys and all your electronic devices. Okay? And every time you try to pull it off, they've got a new one going in your computer that you don't even know about, or your cell phone or whatever, right? How do you cure it? Probably the kill switch. So let's say, just saying a what if, okay, the left side, Democratic side, is listening and seeing everything on the internet that you're doing. So let's say I'm just going to take an example. Hey, there's a Mexican, and he lives here in the States legally, but he has family down in Mexico, and he's talking with his family on the phone. Our government sees, hears, records, and records the pictures besides conversations and the texting that Mexico is doing in South America or Mexico, right? At the same time, you hear about it all the time in the news where all these Spanish people are sending money to the south border, right? That's what the government knows. The government knows all the monetary that's being filtered out of the United States into South America or Mexico. The billions and trillions of dollars. But nothing's stopping them. There's no legislation stopping them other than a limit of $10 a year or something like that. Okay. They need a limit of $100. That, honestly, tighten the belt up. You can't do any kind of electronic transfer outside the United States. And it's not just with, I'm not just picking on, the Spanish people, okay? It's also happening with people from Europe and people in Canada and people in the UK. They're still doing electronic transfer. It's not all the time happening outside the US into other countries. They're coming to our country for the free ride to work, okay? Or I'm not going to say the free ride, but come to the country to work and then send all their money overseas or across borders or whatever. But here's the thing, they do the kill switch on them, it's going to kill the wire transfers too. Why? Because it's over the internet. Now, let's say you take a rich person that does, or some of the yuppies, I'll call them out there, that does from their own personal computer do trade deals with the stock market kind of stuff, where they have stocks, right? There's little companies that you can do on your own personal computer, right? And you can do trade deals with stock markets, from your own personal computer, having your own account. If they do the kill switch, guess what? It kills that too. You can't do it no more because it uses the internet. This not only hurts those people in the middle class, but also the rich people too. Okay. Now think about this on trade deals. Have you ever thought about this? Trade deals. Most trade deals are talked about. They do what emails to each other on things. They have phone calls maybe, or texting deals where they do messaging system and texting deals for trade deals. Even the big corporate people as well do a lot of their business stuff like that sometimes. And then after they say, oh yeah, come to my office and we'll draw up the papers, or whatever it is on their deals, right? Well, it kills that switch too. See? So just to get you understanding everything about security switch and kill switches and all that stuff, right? But here's the other thing. It says, unlike other protection techniques on the security switch, it can provide protection to security that has been breached, since it doesn't have any access from any other components and not accessible by software. So this kind of reminds me on old programming note wise. If you remember way back in the, oh my goodness, 70s maybe, I think they had DOS mode type of programming where you got on the first computers, and I think it was in DOS mode. It might be something like that, where that's how you can maybe communicate. I don't know. See, this is as much as I know so far, what I'm showing you guys. But what if we went back instead of going forward in our technology, because the people on the left were abusing the system so much that we had to kill it for everybody? You know what I'm saying? You get one bad apple or a few bad apples on the left that makes it bad for all, and then they end up killing it for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Does it ever stop? I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah. And you can also use security switches as firewalls. Some people know what firewalls are. You don't know. But anyway, all right. So, yeah, let me get you some information on starting some of this here. Let's see. We'll start off with some right there. All right. So, some of you guys listening to the AJ show, you know who he is, talks about this stuff. I recommend you go listening to him, even if you don't like the guy. The content of the value of the information is there, at least. But it's worth listening to, okay? But here's the thing that the left slipped up on. When Mr. O passed the legislation law to do the kill switch back in I think it was 2010 or earlier. I know they were talking about it before then, even back in 2007. Even the CDC was talking about it. Other people were talking about it. All the different agencies, all the ones that are connected now with this whole thing with the SARS situation and the CV and all that stuff. Everybody, all the agencies, all the branches, everybody, all that stuff is all connected to this kill switch scenario. Okay, every one of them. Anyway, yeah, you can check that out. Do your own homework. Do your research on that one. I will give you the links, I believe, if you just put that in there for I gave you guys a search engine. Check out that search engine under the kill switch situation on that. I think right now it will give you a full page and then some. In that first page of that scenario, you'll look at something under the CDC and it'll say it in that page, I believe. And if not, like I say, you have to go through everything because there's a lot about this. Now, here's what they didn't prepare for. Okay, the T-Man already knows about it, right? And the left wants to take it away from him, right? Well, this was updated in June 2021, and Mr. B rescinded the former T-Man's executive orders banning TikTok and WeChat. So T-Man took them down, but Mr. B put them back up. Okay. He just done it. I want to say Mr. B is like Dennis the Menace. Really seriously. All right. I had my 2 cents there. Anyway, it says here the U.S. Mr. T-Man has banned 2 apps affiliating with China-based emergency for little public evidence and all this stuff, without evidence of banning the apps and doing similar laws and stuff to shut down the internet entirely. And it says go to keep on U.S. all that to dismantle the president's kill switch, right? So they were talking about it, trying to reverse all of T-Man's actions, even on harmful platforms on social media that is basically based and backed by China. So the executive order EOs claim that national emergency under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act regarding foreign powers of explicit vulnerabilities in information technology and supply chain, states and apps threaten national security, foreign policy, and U.S. economy. With these emergencies declared, T-Man has the power to take action against foreign companies, right? It says here that they said that TikTok doesn't operate in China, okay, and it lacks comprehensive data and protection laws. Let's see what else here. And let's see. If an emergency declaration was to happen, it said the Limitless of War of Power statute. So let's think about that a minute. What if, I'm just saying a big what if, the T-Man came back by having overwhelming proof through the highest Supreme Courts of the last 5 states that did the, election thing and found out that he really was the winner. Does that mean that he gets reinstated and then he can, boot out Mr. B to the curb and hang him by his nut bag and, whatever? I don't know. But, what if, he comes in, Mr. T there, and all of a sudden, okay, says, that's it. I'm putting the kill switch on Facebook, and I'm putting the kill switch on YouTube, and I'm putting the kill switch on TikTok, and what was the other all the other ones there that they had on the thing? Well, whatever. But put a lot of kill switches on, let's say, different social media sites, right? WeChat, whatever, and it shouldn't stop at WeChat. They should do at WhatsApp and all these other chat places too. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, you got to do kill switch on all of it, because if you leave one up, then what happens is the left then will go into that site and they'll use that one for their initiative forward, and they'll keep communicating to their touristic masses to keep going forward with their initiative. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to do like the kill switch, I guess, over the whole thing. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know, honestly, but I wanted to expose this to tell you a little bit about it, because a lot of people didn't know anything about it, what a kill switch was, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. time will tell, right? Now, let me go to the next one here. Okay, if you go to these next two links that I give you guys, this shows the bill, the House bill on the links here, showing how the kill switch thing was put into legislation, but also has the CDC infectious control guideline type situations. And I believe in that whole big report that I'm giving there to you guys in the link, somewhere in that report connects the kill switch internet situation to that. Let me see what comments are in the box here. Hey, Blue Lou. So yeah, let's go into that, and then let me see what else here. What else I gave you guys? Okay. Oh, if you want the kill switch thing for Trump, hang on, I got that one. Hang on. That. Whoops. Sorry. Right there is the internet one for the T-Man, how he wanted to do a kill switch on social media type things on the couple ones that they had. So I'll let that run through. And then I want to go back to all right. So that one's running through. If you guys miss any part of this show, you can always rewind it to get these links because they're running around the scroll at the bottom of your screen and stuff, okay? But here's the other one too. All right, and then all right, let me go back to this other interesting story that came up as well. And I also have some interesting new inside stuff as well. Some of you guys are not going to my Twitter page. Please go to the Twitter page. A lot of the stuff of information I'm getting that I can't even put in a show because it's coming too fast sometimes, I'll put in the Twitter page, so go there. But also go to Twitch. Right here is the link of Twitch, because at any point in time, if I have really, really, really bad sensitive stuff that for some reason, even though I'm protected under Florida law for censorship, if something happens with my other pages, especially YouTube, I'll do a show in Twitch. So make sure you follow me in Twitch. And the Twitch link is the one right there, okay? So become a follower of that, okay? And my other page, or my Twitter page and the other pages. Now, what I wanted to get into was the links about other information that's popping out. And also, too, I got messages today on some interesting stuff that you guys need to know about as well. Do you guys remember... man, do you guys remember? Let me think. All right, the building collapse in Miami, right? Remember they said supposedly some new reports right now saying that there was a collapse of the pool first or something, and then the building collapsed. And then we're hearing about another building saying the same thing, that they have structural damage, plumbing issues. Then we're hearing in Tampa, there's another one having an issue. Okay. So all these buildings supposedly in Florida are having issues. Okay. Here's the thing. Florida's surrounded by water. Some of the big complexes that people are living in are over 3 or 4, 5, 6 stories high, and they have pools. For some reason, there's pools in all these different things, right? So hang on to that one. I'll get to that one in a minute. But to show you the internet kill switch and the security switch situation that we found on Wikipedia and connecting to all the other links that I gave you, if you go into my Twitter page, okay, you'll see this one here where they're showing the Pegasus spyware. The world's largest democracy, supposedly, was Pegasus spyware. They found forensic evidence that it was active on Indian phones, meaning in India. Remember India with a big outbreak with the CV and all that stuff? They found this evidently last week. Okay. This was posted in New York Post. It's posted in my Twitter page. You can check it out. But think about that with the kill switch and the security switch. Okay. The security switch is probably connected to this one here. Okay. And it says the spyware is sold to governments to fight terrorism. Okay. And I have to say these words weird because of the, problems with the internet right now. But yeah, so think about that, and what do you call it? The Da Vinci satellite there in the Vatican and Italy, and think about the Pegasus spyware, and think about all these little things that are happening throughout the globe, right? Okay. So right here it says from NDTV, it says the IT minister in Parliament says that no factual basis to suggest use of Pegasus amounts to surveillance. So the governments, I guess, evidently are really pissed off over there. I would be. I mean, we all should be, honestly, really. But they're saying Pegasus is a cyber weapon. Now, where did you hear that word before? Weapon, cyber weapon, CB virus. Yeah, okay. And a controlled defense expert from ERIA with strict EEUMA that has been used in India against its own citizens. Imagine if a fighter jet or missile of the same category was used against the Indians in a similar way. Exactly. See, and that's good because, India's waking up, but now maybe it might be too late, like the rest of us. I don't know. What are you guys going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Does it take us to voice ourselves in the street again? I don't know. I really don't know. But here's a bigger picture. How many millions of Americans, just talking about in the US, how many millions of Americans are willing to go down to their local politician's office right now and say, why aren't you stopping this corruption? What are my tax-paying dollars paying for? I want you guys to really think about that. We could sit here and we could, do riots like BLM in the street, okay? But that's not going to improve anything. That's not going to get anything done. That's a waste of energy, okay? What is it going to take? Maybe you guys need to go down to your politician's office, right? Who's your local congressman? Do you know, how many of you guys know who your local congressman is in your town? Huh? How many local congressmen are in your town? Do you have one, maybe two, three? Any of them state representatives? Not only would I get on the phone, just say, hey, don't say nothing to them. Just say, hey, get on the phone. Say, hey, I'd like an appointment to talk to my congressman. When can he fit me in? Here's where we take a stand. All the people out there in America. Maybe this is the same way that other countries need to do it too. I don't know. I don't know how your country's set up. If you have a democracy, if you're like a, I don't know what you are, but yeah, you can tell. I'm just, keep pushing and keep pushing, or keep talking, or it's like America has these lazy tendencies, very thick-headed and very stubborn. And I'm like trying to give you guys encouragement, or trying to get you guys just to even talk about it. And I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, let's get back to it. So let's go and, call your congressman. right? Call your congressman and say, hey, I want to talk to you. When can I sit down and talk to you? If they say, what is it about? I want to talk about politics. You know, I want to talk about politics. I want to hear what your thinking is about the election, or I want to hear what you researched or background checked on the election. I want to hear what you researched on, the kill switch, or I want to hear your research on and your stand on the CV situation. Because sometimes it takes us little dinky Americans one at a time, just one little American, to go to one politician to find out what's inside their head. You have to crawl inside their head to find out what they're thinking, and then propose a question to them that forces them to think on their own 2 feet. And they might be able to think, but are they in denial? If they're in denial, still you have to question it to find out why they're in denial. Maybe they themselves did not get the proof, the documentation, the research, the background checking thing. This is where you carry that in your purse in the office. And you take the paperwork with you. This is where us as Republicans, as patriots, as U.S. citizens, to take the proof on paper, walk right into the office, look the politician in the eye, and ask them, what are you thinking? Crawl inside their brain and ask them what they're thinking. Why are they saying it this way? What research or information did they get? And if they say, well, it's above your security clearance or above my security clearance, then you show them what you have on evidence, on paper, and say, we want transparency, Freedom of Information Act. And if you've got proof on paper, you bring that with them and show them that. This is where us as Americans assume the responsibility for our freedoms to take actions in this form. What say you? What do you think? Definitely something to think about, right? All right, now let's get back to some of the other information that I'm getting in currently, following. I do have some confirmation. I did a show with the Mark Fugel show a long time ago, or not with them, but they were talking about about a year ago, about earthquakes on the west coast there by California all the way down. Okay. And they're still talking about it, even through Washington State and all that. And at that time, I was looking at different scenarios and doing research on possibilities of how HAARP and other things can interrupt and create the actual ring of fire in the Pacific to slide, change, make earthquakes, etc., and so on, right? So I did today get a confirmation that they are doing tests in deep oceans right now. And they're trying to create tsunamis. Okay. So the Pacific is really deep. It's probably deeper than, the Gulf of Mexico. I think it's deeper than the Atlantic. Okay. And I think this is where majority of the testing is. In fact, it would be probably, if they're going to do testing, it'd probably be the best area in the globe to do it, honestly, because the Ring of Fire is very loose. It's always been loose throughout time, with the tectonic plates, with Hawaii there, etc., and so on. Um, but yeah, I've got where they're actually doing test explosions, deep ocean test explosions right now in the month of July. And um, they report after the explosions that there has been earthquake, minor stuff happening, I guess. So they're adjusting their thing. So there's an initiative there. Okay, I'll just put it that way. But they're also the musical instrument harp. There, not that one, but the other one, is also dealing with the tectonics down there, also. Okay. What they're trying to do is create a chaos in July, and maybe this is why a lot of flooding has been happening over there in Europe. I'm not confirmed on that yet. I am still working on that. So what they're trying to do with all this stuff, I'm reading my notes here. The reason why they're doing a lot of this is because they're trying to create a chaos, um, to push their agenda on the climate change, and it's a distraction. They're creating distractions so that they can push this climate change slide bills in, and get lots of money for funding, and there is no, actual, thing happening other than it's going in their back pockets. Also, they're doing this too because of the exposure of the CV death situation and the increase. Now, this is the other thing I want to talk to you guys about, which I'm calling on the carpet all of Southwest Florida's local news networks, especially Wink TV. They're the most horrible thing. I'm going to tell you this right now. You guys need to ban any of your local news networks when they start talking and pushing the narrative of the CV forward. Just don't even listen to them on the tube. You know what I'm saying? You can find alternative news if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. This is the biggest problem with them, and you're gonna find this soon. But I'm gonna do an investigation on them internally, and they're gonna get called on the carpet big time on them. But here's the thing, that the CV is supposedly saying, okay, there's another Delta strain. They're talking about that. Everybody knows about that. That's old, what, 3 months old thing. Okay. They're going to create these new different strains for the next years to come in every 3 to 6 to 1 year timelines, through the year 2028. It's not going to stop. Okay. This is part of the cabal. It's not going to stop until 2028. The proof is in the UN papers. Okay. Here's the thing that you don't realize, or maybe you do, I don't know. But they're saying that people that got the CV pump in the arm are safe from the thing, from the active situation of it. No. Everybody still can get it. Even those that even taking the pump in the arm, they might not get it as strong. Here's the thing. The pump in the arm equals to the person that didn't get it. If the person that didn't get it, D3, vitamin C, zinc, and B12. If you put those four remedies into a cocktail and put it in your body, it equals the pump in the arm. without the uh, harmful side effects. I'll put it that way. Okay, that's basically in layman's terms. First of all, second of all, they're saying basically that there's an increase because there's so many people not getting the pump in the arm. Well, that's because many millions of people are waking up to their bullcrap, and we have these pieces of shift local news networks pushing their narrative forward without these local news stations actually doing their uh, reporting, okay, accurately. And what I mean by that is, and which I'm calling them on the carpet right now, is that they need to research what is inside each one of these shots and the chemical cocktail that's in each of these pump in the arms of all the four different companies. Just like I said on the previous program. Okay. This is what's really pissed me off. That we have a lack of, and I'm going to call them a piece of shift that they are, to say that they're reporters when they're a piece of shift in my book for not reporting what is actually in each of these shots and pumps in the arms of these four different companies. I don't care about the side effect part. Let's examine the chemical cocktails in them. And if they say, oh, yeah, this is just this surface stuff, we got these, 7 different components, but they don't look at each individual one and the chemical breakdown on it, they're a piece of shift in my book. Okay? And you should be, you should be shutting these people off. Shut them down. Don't do business with them. Don't advertise with them. How many local companies in Southwest Florida are hooking up to all these TV news stations? Okay. Okay, here's for example, we got lawyers out there, blank and blank. If you get in a car accident situation, will represent you. And they're saying they're for the people. You know what? If you're really for the people, you wouldn't be advertising with a piece of shift type of news network, a local news network, that is not providing the citizens of we the people the true accurate reporting and actually do the research and the compiling of information of the truth. So they're just as bad as the other one is. See what I'm saying? I know I'm on a pedestal. I know. I'm sorry. I know I'm giving people headaches. Okay, I'll stop. But you get my drift, right? All right. Now getting back to the exercises and explosions in the deep ocean situations and all that stuff. Okay. When they say they're doing military exercises from any country in the world, it's because they're testing explosives to create earthquakes. I don't care if it's a capital B drop down in the ocean, or if it's a laser, or if it's a missile, or whatever it might be. Okay. Some of you people follow Q. Q saying always watch the water. July and August are going to be big. Watch the water. So whatever you're seeing right now, we've already got reports in the UK, in different countries, Germany, UK, Ireland, parts of Russia. I'm hearing now, even the middle countries like Egypt and I country and a few other ones there are flooding. All these different countries are flooding for a reason. Because follow where the military ships and equipment is at. Okay. And I'm not just saying for our country, but other people's countries. They're doing the same military exercises. Follow where they're going, where the exercises happen. Where the exercises are happening, we're having these little problems of, big storms and climate and what else? We're having, flooding and you name it, right? Well, Q is saying always watch the water. Watch the water. It's what they call the inside storm. And I believe it because I think God is on the whole earth right now, and He's trying to baptize the masses, even the non believers, with this flooding. How do you look at what happened in New York? New York, even here from this past little storm that went on the East Coast, they got flooded out on their subways and other things on the streets, cleaning out the cockroaches and rats. What better way to clean deep state? Clean out the cockroaches and rats. Follow the water. It's an inside storm. Don't we know it? Right? But anyway, so yeah. They said also, too, think about this, which also gives me the situation and confirmation on the Miami collapse. If you went back to my reports on how the collapse happened, that I said it was solidification possibly, and the whole thing came down, and then they knew there were structure problems, so they might have also possibly detonated the columns, which I had pictures showing you where big bottom columns were being blown out, and I showed you the in my past shows. If you go to the Miami collapse, all the different shows that I did on them, you'll see one clip there where it shows explosions underneath. So here's the thing, right? Q is basically saying that the pools are giving you the hints all along. And he's saying, pray that they can't pull off this FF tsunami event. But he says, also think about the pools. The pools gave you the hint. Now, when I did the show on the Miami collapse situation, and I said in the Atlantic, remember, there was a military ship out there that had an explosion, right? They were supposedly doing military exercise, but they're doing explosions. That minor explosion was a shock wave, I believe, that came into Miami as a minor little quake. It was enough to do something under the ground, being, that it's on Miami. Solidification is very easy. And, of course, what happened first was hitting the pool, okay? And then the pool collapsed. And then after the pool collapsed, the building collapsed, right? Well, evidently Q's saying the same thing. And it says sometimes you can't tell the public the truth, but you must show them. So remember, I told you the same thing. I said, in anything that you do, whether you're watching a movie, a TV show, you're seeing live news events happening in the globe, no matter where it is, it has a pattern. Everything has patterns. Okay? And this is like their encoding. Right? So if we see all this stuff ahead of time before they do it, we can plan accordingly to play it safe, right? And they're saying right now that the deep state is going to be playing their last cards, and it's going to be one of the most painful cards out there. So let's think about that. Evidently, can't do too much here in the Atlantic, but evidently you can do a great damage in the rings of fire. Because why? That area of the seismic activity, of seismic stuff in that whole ring of fire in the Pacific is thinner crust than anywhere else in the globe. And it's easier for tsunamis to happen. I'm just going to leave you with that. All right. So let me go to, hang on a minute, let me go here. Oops. So right here is an example of a whole page of this kill switch. Just put it in the search engine, internet kill switch, and you'll come up with all the information about that, of everything that we talked about today, and then some. Okay? If you go to my Twitter page and you scroll down and see this particular one right here, that will tell you about the Pegasus thing. Okay? If you're on Telegram, you can go the Storm Rider on Telegram, the Storm Rider official. I think it is. Hang on a minute. Let me see. I got to go back up. Give me a minute. All right. I don't know. I keep getting so much information and so many different apparatuses anymore. It's crazy. All right. Let me look here. Hang on. All right. Anyway, the Storm Rider official. That's one of them, I guess, on Telegram. So yeah, and also too, just to let you guys too know, also I'm on Telegram as well for my shows. It will be under boho /info in Telegram. Okay, so there is another platform there. You can never, right now in the time that we're living in, you can never have enough platforms. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have one more. You know what I mean? Just in case one goes down, you never know. So much censorship going on out there. Anyway, if you want to donate, please do so at the PayPal link, which I have here in the Twitter page. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, it's also in there. As far as I know, everything's up and running. We're protected under the Florida censorship law, so we'll keep functioning as long as we can. We talk about all kinds of news stories, everything, anything. It all goes. You know what I'm saying? But I still got more information coming in today. We're going to try to do another show a little bit later on today if possible. It depends on how condensed the information is, if I've got time to do it, because I've got to read it first. So, but I'll try to keep you updated on any new current situations happening in my Twitter feed. So stay tuned to that more so right now. And let's see, what else? Do I have anything else for you guys? You guys got any questions or comments? Put those in the chat area. We'll do a shout out real quick. We only got one person maybe talking. Okay, Blue Lou's in. Hi, Blue Lou. Let's see who else we got. Lisa. Yeah. Man-made weather will go a long way when it comes to causing chaos. That's very true, Lisa. Very true. Any other questions out there about anything that we talked about today? Anyway, yeah. So we're good to go. I guess today is what, lunchtime now. I'll take a break, take our lunch, and I'll review some of the new information coming in. And maybe later today we'll post another show. You just never know what we talk about. This is Boho with the info. Hey, Prada, you just made it in time. A shout out to you too, Prada. All right, this is Boho with the info. We're over and out. If you didn't see any part of the show, please reload it. We will post this in Twitter and YouTube. We'll see you next time. We're out.